Right, this is just a quick video about some more Webflow tips and tricks. We're not going to be building like a full-on site here, but I'm going to show you a few things that can make your experience with Webflow a bit smoother. So this is something we had last week where we were just kind of mimicking some of the stuff we did with code in Webflow. One thing I wanted to show you though is that Webflow has some nice features, especially when it comes to building more complex, bigger websites. And one of those is the component feature. So you can see that this has turned green here, and that's because I've converted it into what they call a symbol. And so I've got this symbol header that I can add into my site as many times as I want, which, I mean, obviously I wouldn't really want to do that, but anytime I change it, so I could be like, hey, a mark with a question mark, and it changes it everywhere that that component is used. So that's a pretty cool feature. And you could make components out of like a button, or probably the obvious one for a website is something like navigation or a footer that you want to be on every page. So speaking of navigation, Webflow also has some handy components that are pre-built for certain things. So like for instance, this nav bar, let's drag one of these guys out, and it gives you a spot for a logo or something like a brand, gives you some links. It doesn't look like much at first, and of course you can customize this to match the style of your website. So for instance, like maybe in our site, we would make this background black. Actually, apparently that was the typography color. Let's make the typography color white, and let's make the, let's see, what am I actually editing here? So I think to get to this color, yeah, we need to make that white. Wait, there should be a way. Kind of surprised that changing one of those doesn't change the other ones, but anyway, you get the idea. You can change colors and stuff on things. What I was going to do though is try to change the background color of this whole menu. So let's go to the style. Yeah, the background color, black. There we go. So anyway, you can adjust it, but one of the cool things about it though, it's got these special behaviors to it. So I can show this menu on mobile in a different way. So when I went down to tablet size or phone size here, I get this kind of responsive drop down. We can see how that works. So responsive navigation is something that might be kind of difficult to build on your own. You could do that with Webflow using like their normal screen stuff and just setting different settings for things, but it has this pre-built component for that case. So if you did say like have this nav bar and you wanted to have that on every page, this would be a good candidate for that symbol feature. So if I go to create symbol here, I right click on it, Command Shift A also, create symbol, and I can give it a name. I could call it navigation. And now that's a symbol. So if I make a new page, which I can do, I believe if I go to pages here and then new page, let's call this the about page. It gives you a bunch of settings for that page that some of these are related to search engine optimization and stuff like that, but let's just go ahead and create that page. And then I can use my symbols. If I open the symbol drawer, I'll just drag my navigation back in and boom, I've got the same nav. And so anywhere I update my navigation, well, it'll update on every page that I use it on. So obviously you could do that for things like headers and footers, but you could also do it for like kind of components that you repeat throughout your website. So if you say had like a featured portfolio gallery or something like that, that you maybe had a few images on your homepage and a few images on your portfolio itself, then you could make that a component as well. So definitely recommend exploring that component feature. It's really helpful. One of the other things I was going to show is how you could make like kind of a ambient background. So this is a common pattern you'll see on lots of different websites. So I wanted to show how this works. So basically making a container that has a background image and then has text on top of it, kind of like a banner style thing. So let's make a div block. Notice it's spanning the whole screen. It's not a container, so it's not centering. And this is what we want in this case. Let's style it to be a bit higher. I'm going to set the min height. I don't know. Can I, whatever. Let's do 350. And then what I'm going to do is add a background image. So I'm not going to drag an image inside of this. To get it to actually be something I can put text on top of, I need to actually use a background image. So under image ingredient here, I'm going to click background. Under image, I'm going to go to choose image, and I've already got some images that we were playing with before. Let's see, which one should we do? I guess let's do this one. And obviously the positioning of this, it's right now it's kind of repeating and it looks a little bit strange. We can adjust positioning here, like where you want the image oriented. And so that's kind of a center orientation. And then you can change the way the image behaves with this mode thing. So cover or contain. You can prevent it from repeating like that. So usually for like a banner like this, you would use image mode cover, and then you might adjust like up or down the kind of top or left percentage of where that image shows up. So one thing to note with this is when you're using background image positioning, you can't control how it looks on every screen size. So notice that the different screen sizes show different portions of the image, and that's just part of it. So you kind of have to know what you're getting or you're dealing with when you do these kind of responsive banners. But so picking like a more ambient style background is usually smart. Like you don't have to have exact positioning on it. So once you've got your banner, then maybe you want some text in here, some like featured text or something. So actually, I drug out a headline there, but let's put a container in there first, and then let's put the heading in the container. And so you could, welcome to the future. I don't know why that's the headline, but it sounds good. So let's go with it. You could throw in, a block quote. Why not? To be or not to be. Whatever you could put. A lot of times you'll see these kind of banners with some sort of headline, tagline, and then like maybe a call to action like join or whatever. Obviously you'd want to adjust the spacing here too between that and the above element, so we can do that with margin like we usually would. Just like add like maybe 20 pixels margin there. Anyway, so that's how you make just kind of a basic banner with text on top of it. Since that's a common pattern, I thought that I would go ahead and demo that. Of course, there are many other things you can do with Webflow. They've got the e-commerce, they've got the content management. We're not going to go into all that stuff, but these are just some new patterns that you can use and apply to your own site.